I'm Alexis, a consultant here at Valientis. Let's talk about Atlassian's Virtual Agent feature for Jira Service Management. Atlassian has recently started to dip into the realm of artificial intelligence to create an AI specifically to the Atlassian ecosystem. This is what we all know as Atlassian Intelligence. Atlassian Intelligence has many use cases, from summarizing Confluence pages to generating automations based on a prompt. More recently, Atlassian has taken Atlassian Intelligence a step further into the Virtual Agent. Virtual Agent aids in helping to resolve your most common problems without having an agent to lift a finger. This saves your agents time for working on other high-priority issues, all while giving the customer a lightning-fast resolution. The Virtual Agent is available 24/7 to assist your customers no matter what time of day. The Virtual Agent detects a key word within the customer's message to determine and provide the related troubleshooting steps with a series of customizable instructions for the customer to follow. If the Virtual Agent solves your customer's issue, then there is no ticket created. However, if the Virtual Agent is not able to resolve your customer's issue, a ticket will be created and will include the conversation log, so your agent knows exactly what work has been done and can jump right in without missing a beat. In order to use the Virtual Agent, you must have premium or enterprise licensing of Jira Service Management. The Virtual Agent is currently available to use with a Slack connection and will utilize Atlassian Assist that is shared with the chat feature. Sorry, Microsoft Teams users, Virtual Agent isn't ready for you guys just yet, but it is in development. The Virtual Agent can also utilize the connected knowledge base spaces to the project to suggest help articles. And if that wasn't exciting enough, just days ago of shooting this video, Atlassian has rolled out the beta for the Virtual Agent on the portal. Now that I have you excited for the Virtual Agent, let's get into it. First, we will need to configure the Virtual Agent. To locate the Virtual Agent, under Project Settings, click on the Virtual Agent tab. If you've already set up the chat feature with your Slack instance, you'll be prompted to just select the request type for the Virtual Agent to set issues that get created. If you have not yet, you will need to click on Slack to connect your workspace and install the Assist app. Once the app is installed, it will guide you with a set of instructions to follow to set up your agent and request channel. Even though the Virtual Agent for Microsoft Teams is still in development, if you have the chat feature set up, you will be able to perform all of these configuration options within the Virtual Agent. It's just that currently they will only display on the project's portal page. Now that your Slack is connected, we'll set up our default request type. During the configuration for each intent you make for a common problem, you will have to set the request type. Within each intent, though, you can change the request type that it will be submitted under to make sure that your related intent goes under the proper request type. You will be able to choose from any request type that you have within the project. The toggle below allows you to turn on Atlassian Intelligence Answers. If the message that your customer sends does not match any intents that are active, Atlassian Intelligence will look to your knowledge base to find if there is a matching article. If there is an article, then the article will be suggested. This is an optional feature and does require that the linked knowledge base space permissions be sent to all logged in users under Who Can View. While on the same page, clicking the Channels tab will show you all the channels that are connected to Atlassian Assist. When you set up the Virtual Agent, it will also create a test channel so that you can test your intents on Slack before making them live into the request channel. If you have an active intent, it will then enable the Virtual Agent on your project's portal. Let's work our way up the side menu. The Conversations tab will show you all the logged interactions with the Virtual Agent. Since a ticket is not created if the Virtual Agent resolves the issue, in order to view the conversation, you will need to click the arrow link. This will take you to the conversation thread in the request channel. If a ticket was created, the conversation log can be found by going to the arrow link for the request channel, as well as the conversation will be logged in the comments section of that ticket. Also see the date, the first message, the resolution, and the customer satisfaction rating if the customer filled it out. At the moment, the Virtual Agent being in beta for the customer portal, conversations for issues that are escalated or resolved by the Virtual Agent are not displayed in this section. Moving up to standard flows. Standard flows are across-the-board actions that will be in your intents. For these standard flows, you can only customize the text that will be displayed for them. For example, the greet flow. I could click in and customize the message that will be sent to the customer's response in their first message. The Settings tab of the standard flows will show you the description of the flow and any rules that are attached. The Match Intent flow is the only standard flow at the moment that will show rules, which is how the agent is processed the message and searches for the appropriate intent. Now, let's go to where all the fun is, the intent section. Here is where you can create your intents. You will also see some general statistics such as the amount of conversations, the percentage of matched and resolved, and the customer satisfaction rating if it was filled out. For those metrics, you can also select the time frame for which you want to display. Below performance is all your intents. If you click on the name, you can modify and configure. Let's take a look at headset issues, for example. At the top right, you can see the status of the intent. You have live and test. Test means that it's inactive to the public, but you can test this via your virtual agent testing channel or on the test section of the portal. If you have it live, this means that it's live for your customers in both the request channel and on the portal regularly. In the Flow tab is where we build out our intent. I've built out a simple one here to troubleshoot a headset issue. Options you have for intent are offer choices, which is what you would use to route the next step in the troubleshooting. For example, did this resolve your issue, yes or no? Ask for information allows you to prompt the customer to fill out information on fields that you select. Note that there is a limited range of supported fields. Send message allows you to just say a piece of information in a paragraph text that will be sent to the customer. So for instance, I have one at the very beginning that says, "I'm sorry you're having issues. Let's try some troubleshooting steps." Send web request is to send an HTTP request to a specified URL. Change request type in fields allows you to set the request type that you want the issue to be in case that the default request type that the virtual agent set does not relate to this issue. Now let's go to the training tab. When you create an intent for the first time, you will be asked to provide a minimum of 3 phrases the virtual agent will use to match the customer's first message to the intent. It's important to put very common keywords and phrases that your customers use for this to help match as much as possible. You can always add more and remove as needed on the fly. Under the Settings tab is where you can change the display name, the description, and the message that asks for confirmation to use the intent. Now that I've walked us through the configuration of the virtual agent, let's see it in action. Now I'm in my help channel that is publicly for requests, and I will go ahead and submit a ticket. So since my intent is headset issue, let's raise a headset issue. We can see here that the assist agent has now responded and is giving me my greet message and is giving me the confirmation message of, am I looking for a headset issue? So I will click yes. For each prompt that the virtual agent gives you, it will log your answer next to it. So we can see here, it's giving me my first step of, please unplug your headset and plug it back in. Let's say that in this scenario that it did solve my issue. So I'll go ahead and click yes. From here, it will then give me the customer satisfaction survey and ask me to rate. So I'll say 5 stars, it was very good, and say super duper fast, thanks. This then adds my message as feedback to the issue. Let's go ahead and submit another issue for a headset issue. Let's say in this scenario that the first troubleshooting step of plugging it and plugging it back in didn't help. So I'll say, did it resolve my issue? No. So we'll go through the next step that the virtual agent gives me is my audio output set to my headset? I'll check and say, yeah, it is, and it didn't resolve my issue. So I'll go ahead and click no. So it's going to give me my next step and ask me to make sure that my sound for my computer is not muted. I just checked and nope, my sound's not muted, so this did not fix my issue. And my volume is up, not low, so no, it didn't solve my issue. Then we're reaching the last step of my intent that's asking me to save my work and restart my computer. Let's say I restarted my computer and it came back up and lo and behold, it still isn't working. So I will go ahead and click no. Now we can see here that since the virtual agent could not help solve, it is going to head and submit a ticket for me. And it's telling me that now this request is raised privately, so any message that I add here going forward is not going to be synced to the ticket. So I can either go ahead and click this and click go to app, or because I see my issue was created, I can just go to assist. So I'll go there. So we can see here that my issue was created, and if I go and click the ticket link right here, it will bring me to the portal of my issue, and we can see here it has logged all the steps that Atlassian Assist sent me to do, so now my agent sees what troubleshooting steps has been taken and can immediately hop in my issue and help. We can see here that while we set the default request type for the virtual agent to be get IT help, in my intent I told it to set to broken hardware, and it set it to broken hardware. Remember earlier I mentioned about throwing suggested articles from your knowledge base. Let's go see how that looks. So we'll go back into my help channel. Let's start with a very common question that gets asked around a lot the office. What's the Wi-Fi password? Now, as we saw, I don't have a matching intent that I've created. So, in theory, because I don't have a matching intent, it should create an issue or ask if I want to create an issue. However, since I have a document for my knowledge base that gives that information and it matches that document, it suggested it to me. It will give me a quick summary of what's in the document right here, or if I just click the link, it will take me directly to the article on the portal. So we can see here, here's the answer to my information. Now, if this did help me, which instance, yes, it gave me the information I need, I would click yes, this resolved my issue. If this document did not resolve my issue and I clicked no, it would create a ticket for it under Get IT Help. If you remember, I mentioned earlier that there's a beta for the virtual agent on the portal. Let's go check that out. So I'll go back to my portal. Below settings, I will click on test. In the future, this could be called something else, but for now, it is called test. In this section, we can see that this is in the testing phase. So this would be where if my intent is set to test, I could test this on the portal. So we'll go ahead and submit a headset problem. Just like it did in Slack, it's going to go through the intent and ask me those series of questions, asking me if it resolved my issue, if it didn't. So I'll go through and say that after all these steps, it still is not working. So now it's going to create my issue, and we can see here directly within the portal, it's going to give me the link to the ticket, and if I click it, it'll take me directly to my issue on the portal. Also similar to Slack, it will also throw out knowledge base articles. So I can chat with the agent and I'm in the live area of the project. And if I go and ask, what's the Wi-Fi password? Just like in Slack, it's going to give me that brief information of what's in the document, as well as tell me, here's the document if you want to click on it. And if I click on it, it's going to take me directly to that knowledge base with all the information there. The possibility to use Virtual Agent to resolve tickets before they get submitted is endless. By adding more intents, you can streamline a lot of requests, giving agents back time to work on higher priority issues, as well as immediately hop in a ticket that was escalated. Hopefully you are just excited about the Virtual Agent as I am and implement the Virtual Agent in your company. Thanks for watching.